Hey, how's it going? Alex here from IdeaSpot. Today we have a full review and tutorial for creating a website using Elementor hosting. Now, this is an all-in-one solution for creating a website using the Elementor Pro page builder. So this is the exact website that we're going to be creating today. This is an easy step-by-step process that anyone can follow. I'll show you exactly how I did this. Elementor hosting is a top choice if you're looking for the best WordPress hosting for building a site with Elementor. In terms of website hosting cost, this is great value because it gives you everything you need under one plan to get started instantly. First of all, Elementor hosting gives you access to a server that's powered by Google Cloud, so it's among the best in class in terms of server performance, and you get all the safety and security managed by Elementor hosting as well. So you get your DDoS protection and your web application firewall, as well as 24-hour security monitoring provided by Elementor. A lot of the things that would often cost extra, like automatic backups and WordPress optimization with your caching and your content delivery network, these are included in the plan and automatically optimized for your Elementor website. You can obviously host the Elementor plugin on any hosting, but if you choose Elementor's hosting, they'll include all the pro widgets and pro features on your hosting as well. So you actually save quite a bit of money when you're looking for the best value WordPress hosting for Elementor. For those of you new to website hosting, to put it simply, the host is just the computer on the internet that your website lives on. It allows visitors to access the internet and access your website. So it makes sense that if you were using an Elementor website, that Elementor's own hosting would give you the best optimization for that process. So why would you use WordPress and Elementor in the first place? You'd choose WordPress because it's the most popular system to manage web content on the market at the moment. It's also free and open source. Similarly, Elementor is the most popular page builder for WordPress. It makes building the page of your website a very streamlined and visually simple to do. Those of you who don't have experience in terms of web development, you just have sort of visual design knowledge, you can build a website on WordPress with this system. The flexibility and the friendly user interface offered by this setup gives you an excellent opportunity to grow any business. WordPress websites have always ranked really well in Google, so it's a great way to drive organic engagement to any business. So let's get on to our example of creating this website. So I've got a link in the description if you want to follow along. I'll take you through the exact process used to do this. Okay, following the link in the description will bring you here where we choose our plan. So this depends on how many websites we need. For this demonstration, I just need one basic website, so I'll choose that one here. Then we can create an account either with Google, Facebook, or an email address. I'm going to use Google here, so I'll just sign in with my Google. Then we go through the checkout, filling out this form with our name, email address, and other details, choose our payment method, and finish the checkout. This is all very straightforward, so I'll go ahead and do that and then meet you in the Elementor dashboard. Now, after doing the checkout, you will get an option about adding the Elementor AI if you're interested. Now, that is optional. It does add a bit of extra cost. I'll show this a little bit later in the video for those of you curious about Elementor AI, but otherwise we can head down here and start creating our website. Now we can choose a name for our site. I'll go with IdeaSpot here. Now just note that you can easily edit this later if you change your mind. So let's go ahead and hit next. At this stage, we can choose one of the featured website kits. So there's 34 here to choose from, but we can actually start from scratch and do this through the WordPress dashboard. And Elementor has much more than 34 if we do it from scratch. So I'm going to do this from scratch. And now it says, ta-da, your site is ready. We can start editing our homepage. And this brings us to our Elementor page builder here where we can edit our web pages. So right now we've just got a blank site. So what I want to do is head over to our page management here. So manage this website. And this brings us to our overview. We can manage a lot of important aspects of our site from this page here. We can change the name. We have an Elementor Cloud domain name set up where we can work on our site with this domain, but I will show you later in the video how to change that to a custom domain. You'll also notice that site lock is on here. So this site will not be viewable to the public until we get it ready and turn site lock off. So I'll show you how to do that a bit later. Also, we can take backups here. I think it's a great time to take a backup since we've got a nice, fresh, clean, blank site. If we want to roll back to that fresh site at any point, I really like to do this when I'm building a new site. If I change my mind, it's really easy to roll it back. So let's create a new backup here. I'm just going to call that blank site here and click backup now. We can see it's performing the backup. So this shouldn't take too long with a blank site. So that is all done. And so from here, we can always restore our website to its original form with that button here, restore. And you'll also notice that they automatically back up our website every 24 hours. So if we come back here a few days later, we'll see that there'll be multiple automatic backups along with the manual backup that we just did then. So now let's head back to our overview. I want to set up a site kit on this site now. So we can head to our WordPress dashboard through these three dots, and our WordPress admin is right here. So here is our WordPress dashboard. This is where we can do lots of things like make new pages, edit pages, make blog posts. If we're running a blog, we can add WordPress plugins here. And the thing I want to do right now is add a template. So we can find our Elementor site kits under templates. We've got our kit library right there. So Elementor have these site kits that make it really easy to set up a new website in one click. They have really nice designs already made. So you just choose the one that you're interested in. They have some categories here for blogs, for online stores. These ones have WooCommerce already set up. These ones, portfolios and simple websites, are your basic static business brochure type websites. And you also have these wireframe options as well if you want to start with something a little bit more blank. But I think we'll go with a simple website design for this tutorial here. And it's also worth noting, if you can't find exactly what you want, scrolling down, you can actually look at more kits on Theme Forest here. So if we open that, there is literally thousands, over 4,000 kits for Elementor that you can import into your Elementor hosted website there as well. So tons and tons of options. But for me as a tech blogger, the one that caught my eye was this digital marketing agency one. So I'm going to use this one today. So let's view the demo here. So personally, this one I thought looked pretty cool. It would be really suitable for a lot of the type of projects that I work on personally. So if you like it, you can go ahead and apply the kit. If not, you can go back to the library and choose something else. But let's apply this kit here. We'll have the option of applying the whole kit or just certain aspects of the kit here. Let's go with the whole kit with that button there. And we have to first enable unfiltered file upload. So go ahead and enable that one. And then it is going to be setting up our kit. This usually takes a few moments. So I'm going to pause and come back when this is done. So after a few minutes, that looks all good. Your kit is now live on our site. We can go ahead and close this one. And this brings us back to our WordPress dashboard. If we want to view our site kit here, now we can visit the site there. I'm going to open that in a new tab here and we can see our site kit. So now let's talk about customizing our site kit to suit our needs. Now there are tons of customizations you can make on a WordPress site using Elementor. The most essential ones are through this menu here, Edit with Elementor. Here we can work on our header, our footer, and our site settings. Let's start with the site settings. The key things to be aware of here are your global colors and global fonts. You can get to your global colors here, and these are the colors used throughout the website. So we can tweak these to our liking. If your brand has a specific shade, you can add that here. For example, I'd want to make this blue a little bit more subtle. So I might just drag that and make it a little bit less bright. And that looks pretty good. So that looks better. We can go ahead and save the changes. So go ahead and change that as you wish. And we can also scroll down and we'll find our global fonts are right here. So you've got our fonts broken up into primary, secondary, standard text and accent text. So we can customize those throughout the site just by selecting them. We can see at the moment we're on Varela Round and we can change that to anything we want through that drop down there. So let's just change it to say Montserrat. That's one I quite like. That looks pretty cool. And we can go ahead and save the changes there. So go ahead and customize that as you wish. So as you can see, that's a really quick way of changing your fonts and your colors right throughout the website in just a few clicks. So let's close out of this one now. Next thing we can do is work on our header. We can see our header is here and we've got a header tab there. We can go ahead and click that. So this is all quite point and click. You'll notice that we have a default logo there. Let's go ahead and customize that one. So clicking on that pencil brings up our logo. We can change our site logo quite easily there. You'll notice that it says 350 by 100 is our recommended suggested image dimension. So let's go ahead and do that. We also should add a favicon. Favicon is the little logo that goes in the browser tab. So we can customize that one as well here. That recommends a 512 by 512 suggested favicon. So let's go ahead and change those. So if you want a quick way of doing that for free, I used Canva to make the logo. All I did was create a custom size image to that size. I used the primary color as the background color, made a simple text logo. For the favicon, I used favicon.io and I just made a simple text-based favicon with the background color matching the site's primary color. So that was fairly straightforward for this demo. And it's just a case of uploading these files. So we can go ahead and select these from our computer. I'm going to upload both the favicon and the logo here. First of all, let's change the logo to that one there. And change the favicon to our favicon there. That's all good. And while we're here, we could change the site description from just another Elementor hosted website to something else. So I'll just call it Tech Ideas. And then save our changes. And we'll notice it says changes will be reflected only after saving and reloading the preview. So let's go ahead and just reload here. All right, so that looks all good. Now let's close this one here. And we can head back to our header again. And here we can have a look at our menu with that pencil icon there again. This allows us to change our menu styling. There's lots of options here for content and styling. I won't do all the details here, but for example, if I wanted to change the animation on the underline there, we could change it from a dropout animation to a slide animation, and you could preview it there. You can see that's a subtle difference, but go ahead and experiment with that. What I really wanted to do is show you how to change the menu content itself. So that is through this link here, the menu screen to manage your menus. And that is what we've got here, home, about, services, clients, and contact. We can edit those through this structure here. So this is going to allow you to add any of your WordPress pages, any of your WordPress posts, any custom links you can fill in manually as well. And you can remove things as well. For example, if I didn't want this social media submenu item here, I could just go ahead and remove it from the menu here and save it. And you can also get here through your WordPress dashboard anytime through appearance and menus. So this is really quite a useful function. It's a good time to talk about some more WordPress basics while we're in our WordPress dashboard here. So the main things you want to be using when you're customizing your website is the pages and the posts. So these are important concepts to use in WordPress. If we look at our pages, these are the main pieces of content on our website. If we actually open our website, let's open it in a new tab. So visit the site in a new tab here. We can see we've got our menu that says home, about, services, client, and contact. This corresponds to our pages in the list here. You can edit any of these in Elementor by hovering them and selecting edit with Elementor. The most important one is your home page. That is selected as the front page. And that was the one that loads up by default when the visitor visits your domain name. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that one with Elementor. I did that in a new tab, so we've got the editing window up here. The other thing we can do here is we can add new pages with this feature there. We can add a new page. We can name it or rename it later. The other thing I really like doing is duplicating pages. So if I've got a page that I really like, I want to use it for a different purpose on the site, I can go ahead, click more options here and duplicate the page. That'll make a copy of the page that we just produced. And we can go ahead, we can actually rename that and repurpose the copy and the design for another page on our website. That really saves a lot of time as well. So that's how you duplicate a page. We can also easily delete a page by selecting it there and moving it to the trash, hitting apply. And that will move it to the trash. The trash gets automatically emptied after a period of time, but that is basically how you manage your pages. Pages are for your cornerstone content, things that aren't going to change too frequently. And posts are for the sort of quick news updates or quick pieces of content that you want to draft up and use a template to produce. So they've got a few examples here. If we view the post on the page, we can see what it looks like when it's published. It has a title, it has a featured image, it shows the author and the date there, and you've got your content there. These are really easy to create in WordPress. If you hit edit, all you are doing is filling in a template. You type the content in and it automatically templates it into this layout. So it's a really quick way of adding content to any website. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So let's go back to here and let's add a new post. And we can go ahead here, just paste in some content, for example, add a title. There we go. And set a featured image. You can take one from the media library or you can upload one manually as well here. So go ahead, set that up. That's really all there is to making a blog post. We can hit publish there, go ahead and publish that, and we can view that. So WordPress is a really nice way of quickly generating content through the WordPress post template. So this is a really powerful aspect of WordPress. But it's really important to understand the difference between posts like this and pages, which are edited in the Elementor page builder, which gives you a lot of customization flexibility, versus using a template where you just add content and publish with a simple picture and a title. So just be clear on the pros and cons of using posts and pages there. So back in Elementor, we basically finished our header. The only thing was maybe there was this phone number here. So let's go ahead and have a look at what we can do with that. So we can actually edit the phone number here, or we could actually just, we could remove that entirely as well if we didn't want to have a phone number, and just keep it a bit cleaner with just only the menu. So totally up to you what you'd like to do, or you could put something else in that block as well. So you can actually just drag things in there. For example, the search form, you could have that, pop that in there, and they've got a search bar. So those kind of things. Very customizable using Elementor. But I think the most important and fun part of using Elementor is the actual page editor. So let's edit our page here, click save to save that header change that we just made. But let's actually look at this page editor that you get with Elementor. Now, I'll only cover the basics of the Elementor page builder here. I've done a much more detailed video, which I'll put up in the corner and in the description if you want some more detail on using this. But really, this is broken into structure here. We've got sections here. We can see the top one is a hero. The second one is our intro section, and so on and so forth. If we want to edit any of the elements inside here, we can see we've got our pencil icon by each of them. We can click them. We can edit the content. Same with our images. Exactly the same idea. So this is all quite easy to do. For example, I could change that image to something else fairly simply. Go ahead, select a new one, and it goes ahead and changes it. The other thing that catches a lot of people out is the section background. If we have a look at our section, just select the main thing there and go ahead, and we can look at our styling here. We can see we've got a background overlay with our image here. That's got those blob effects are through that image. And so we can change that to anything we want. There's different blobs and things that we can have included with our site kit, but I'd actually prefer to leave that design as it is. I think it looks pretty cool. That was part of the reason why I chose this site kit in the first place. But go through and just use those icons. Very straightforward and user-friendly way of customizing your content in the Elementor site kit. And really the only other thing that you'd want to do is your footer. So if you scroll down to the bottom, the footer is exactly the same as your header in terms of the editing process. Each element is customizable through our icon, pencil icon there. We can change our social icons, for example, customize them to match the social icons that we use, and just go through, remove or customize anything that needs to get done. So this is really a nice way of working with things that used to be pretty tricky to do in WordPress. Elementor makes it a very visual and straightforward, intuitive method of getting this done. So we've covered how to edit the elements of a site kit. We can also add new elements to a site kit. So for example, if we wanted to add, say, an additional heading, we could drag a heading in and just drop it wherever we wanted to have it. So I might pop one in there. It's a new heading, for example. And we can actually, instead of writing them ourselves, we can write them with AI. So we can use Elementor's AI to write our content. So this is an optional add-on to Elementor. We can add the ability to use Elementor AI and create AI content in our website. They've got suggested prompts here. For example, craft a catchy slogan for IdeaSpot Tech, and we can generate text. And so it's come up with innovation starts here at IdeaSpot Tech. So that seems pretty cool. We could actually, simplify it, make it longer, make it shorter. Let's try making it longer. So now it's generated an entire paragraph about IdeaSpot Tech as a tech provider. So again, very simple to generate content quickly. It's a nice way of generating a mock-up design. For example, if you're working for a client, you just wanted to create some content so you can get an idea of what the website would look like before you edit in detail. So I'm going to go ahead and use that text there. So that's pretty cool. I might just delete this one, given that we've created a new one. So that looks better. And you can actually do that to fill out the whole website. I'm going to go ahead and do that, edit with AI, and follow the same process here. I noticed that this, by default, you get a limited license. You can upgrade that to a maximum license. So there's two paid licenses. Depending on how much AI content you see yourself generating, the AI starter will do up to 18,000 prompts. And that is every month. So you could create a ton of content for a fairly low price. If you were an agency doing this professionally, doing like a lot of content marketing, you might use AI power that gives you 50,000 prompts per month. So either of those, if you want to use a lot of AI content, that might be worth adding to your subscription. All right, I think the next important step that we should cover is our domain name. As we talked about earlier, we have a temporary Elementor Cloud domain name. If we head back to our site overview, we can actually manage domains here and we can make a custom domain. I'll go ahead and do that right now. So there's two methods for doing this. You can buy a new domain, which I'll show you how to do later in the video, or we can use one that we have already purchased, which I'll show you how to do right now. So let's click on Connect My Domain here. And we have to follow this process to connect our custom domain to IdeaSpot. So let's go ahead and do this. In this case, I already have a domain I purchased from namecheap.com. I like this place for cheap domain names, so I'm going to copy that one. I have used IdeaSpot Online for this example. So if you want to learn how to purchase your own domain from Namecheap, I'll put a link in the description to show you how to do that as well. But it's very straightforward. But I'm going to use IdeaSpot Online for this example here, and I'm going to set that as my primary domain. I'm going to also connect the www IdeaSpot Online to our site as well. So let's begin. It's going to ask us to sign in to your domain provider. I'm already signed in to Namecheap here, so I can go to our next step. And it says find your domain settings page. In the case of Namecheap, that's going to be under your domain list, and you go to your advanced DNS there. And then found it, what's next? Find your DNS records. Check where your DNS records for IdeaSpot Online are edited. So you do that by using this one, add new record in Namecheap. Fairly straightforward. What's next? And this is where we actually have to add these records to our DNS. So the A record that we need is the @ points to this IP address. That is our Elementor server IP address. So we're going to point a new record. That's the A record that is @ We're going to point it to Elementor's IP address there. Save that one in. And the other one we wanted to do was the CNAME for www. We're going to point that to our Elementor Cloud domain there. So let's go ahead and do that. And that is the CNAME record for www. We're going to target the Elementor Cloud address with that one there, as shown in our instructions. So that is all good. We can go ahead and update based on that one there. So this does take a while. So I'm going to have to sit back while we finish things up. So anytime you change your DNS settings, it does take a while. They talk about up to 72 hours. Generally, from what I could see, using Namecheap usually takes less than half an hour. So I'm going to come back in a minute and go ahead and see how this is progressing. If you're impatient like me and you actually want to check how this is progressing, you can go to a site called dnschecker.org and put in your domain name. So in my case, IdeaSpot Online, go ahead and hit search. Just see if this IP address is matching up to the new IP address that we just added to our DNS records. So in this case, it looks like it is matching up now. That only took a few minutes. So this should actually be working on our new domain. So let's go back to our dashboard. As we can see, the URL has been added and it is at the DNS checking stage. So I might just come back after a few more minutes and refresh this one and see how it's going. All right, so I just went and had some more coffee and it looks like this is automatically refreshed and we can see IdeaSpot Online has become the primary domain name rather than the Elementor Cloud domain. So that looks pretty cool. The other nice thing is that we also have a SSL padlock automatically installed on the domain as well. So that was a nice little feature that happened automatically. So now what we can do is turn off the site lock. So click change this setting here, scroll down to site lock here. We can actually turn site lock off and unlock our site. Now we can actually follow the link here to our custom domain and that should take us to our IdeaSpot Online SiteKit website that is up and live now. So it looks really cool. Yeah, really happy with this process and the speed of doing this was really impressive. Okay, now that we've covered setting up an existing domain, now let's try purchasing a new domain. So let's click buy a domain here. So Elementor is partnered with the Hover registrar that allows us to get new domains for our website. So let's get one here. This is a good choice if you don't already own a domain, because when you do it with this method, it's going to be automatically configured to work with your website. So we can find a domain for your idea. I'm going to try ideasphase.com for this example. Click here. So here it's going to show if it's available, which luckily it is. There's also other extensions down here that it suggests that you may want to consider too, but let's just go with ideasphase.com for this example. We'll add it to cart. Then let's head to our cart here. We can see that we've got privacy included for free, which is good. And we've got 10% off by using Elementor for new purchases. So that's pretty nice as well. So let's go through the checkout. So this is just a case of filling out the checkout form. After filling in the first step, you'll get a confirmation code to your email. So just put in your code from the email that you received and confirm that one. And then we just need to agree to the terms here. We don't need to receive email or newsletters. Then we click continue. Fill in your details here and press continue. Now we can check out either with a credit card or with PayPal. I'm going to use PayPal for this demo here. Then we agree to the terms and submit the order. All right, that looks all good. Now we are the proud owner of ideasphase.com. We can connect it to Elementor through here. Great, now our domain is connected to Elementor. There's just one more step and you're done. So go back to Elementor to finish. So here it says your website has a new custom domain. Congrats. You can find your site at ideasphase.com, and it can take up to 48 hours to update all servers for this to work. Usually doesn't take that long. Probably 1 hour or so is enough in most cases. So let's click got it here. So we will have to wait a little bit for this domain to be ready, but I'll come back in a few minutes and see how it's going. Great. So after a few minutes, this has refreshed by itself. We can see Ideas Phase, our new domain, is now ready. SSL is automatically installed. The advantage of doing it like this was that the DNS management is all automatically configured. So that was actually a little bit easier going through this method. So if I wanted to use this domain, I'll just set that one as primary, and that can be our primary domain. So that's all there is to that. Let's head back to our overview. At this point, we'll notice that our setup is now at 100%. So we've covered all the basics of getting our site kit with Elementor online. So this was really cool. Next, I might cover a few of the more advanced features of Elementor's hosting. So let's head over to those 3 dots again and head back to our WordPress admin. I'll open that in a new tab. You'll notice that we have a hosting item in our menu here, and here we can access things like the backups, the domains, and advanced caching is an interesting feature here. If we go there, we can see that Elementor has performance caching automatically enabled by default, and it's already optimized for your Elementor website. So this really does make the experience of optimizing your site through Elementor hosting much quicker than a lot of other options on the market. So I really appreciate having that set up by default. Saves a few plugins as well. As we can see under plugins, this site's probably running with only about 3 plugins. As we can see under plugins, they've got only 3 plugins. That's all we need here: Elementor, Elementor Pro, and the activity log. So very streamlined and high performance setup through Elementor hosting. And back on our page overview, if we head to our advanced tab, there's a couple cool little advanced features that our more advanced users might appreciate. You can have secure FTP. There'll be login details here. You can just use these login details to connect to your site via FTP, and you can edit your files, upload files through FTP. They've even got a link here. If you haven't used it before, you can follow this guide on how to use secure FTP. But the vast majority of you probably won't ever need to use it, but it's good to know that it's there if needed. Similarly, with our database, we can actually open the WordPress database through our advanced menu there. And here we've got access to PHPMyAdmin, where you can access your entire WordPress database here. So in conclusion, I think this is a great choice if you're looking for the best WordPress hosting for building with Elementor. If you look at your website hosting cost, I think for a managed WordPress host, this is a good choice. Overall, getting the Elementor Pro plugin included with your hosting, this is something only Elementor hosting can really do at this price point. So that is probably what impresses me the most. A very friendly user interface. You're probably aware of that if you've used Elementor in the past. I think this is a good choice still, even in 2023, moving into 2024. So trust that was all helpful. If you want to check out a more detailed tutorial that I did earlier on building a website with Elementor, I'll put those up on the end screen as well. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.